Hi guys, it's Cliff again, and today I'm going to show you how to stitch leather. So, stitching leather is basically taking two pieces of leather and sewing it together so that they stick together. So, I learned how to stitch from my friend Lisa Teng, who owns Lisatengstudios in Singapore. So, knowing that I know nothing about leather, she told me the most basic things that I need, and I'm going to share these with you. So first you need your leather. Then you will need wax thread. So all these things that I'm going to tell you, you can buy in the leather making workshops or any shop, really, sewing shops. So wax thread, you'll need stitching prongs, which is like little metal fork that you use to hammer holes into your leather. You will need at least 2 nice big fat needles to sew the leather and a hammer to hammer this in. So these are the most basic things you need if you want to stitch leather properly. Oh, of course, pair of scissors to cut your pieces of leather to shape. So the next thing is that you need a design for your item. I'm going to make a little cow today. So I have drawn my cow on a piece of paper there. See, so cute. And then you need to plan your piece. So there's the backing over here. This is the cow's face. This is the white thing around the nose. I have his big thing, I don't know what you call that. And then this will be for the ears on the side. So it's always nice to plan out and get the colors right. And maybe this for little horns on top. Okay, so which means I don't really need the other pieces. Now the next thing you need to do is to draw on your leather how you want to cut it. So with a pen or pencil, I think pen works better, you can draw the shape of your cow on the piece of leather. You see, the pen just goes on straight away. It just sticks on very easily. Now, I'm going to start drawing the leather and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have drawn on my pieces of leather the lines. We are ready to cut. With a piece of scissors, just cut the leather as you would paper. See? It's very easy. If your scissors is sharp enough, it just cuts like that. So, cut the shape that you want. And then, before you know it, you will have your pieces ready. I feel bad for you to have to watch me to do this, so I'm going to pause the video. So I'll pause the video and I'll be right back. Okay, hi! So now I finished cutting the pieces, and the next step is to put them together, the stitching part. But it's not so straightforward. It's not like sewing. You don't just take a needle and a thread and just start going through. There's a few steps to do. First, you need to assemble your pieces, of course. So I'll assemble my pieces. I have my base piece. I have my top piece with the nose and that thing. And then I have my ears and the horns. So this is my cow. And the next step you have to do is to glue it down. I'm going to use U-hook glue. The reason why you want to glue it down is because when you start making holes, you don't want them to shift. So I'll just very simply put some glue on the horns. See this glue? It's like that. This kind of glue, it works because basically you just put a layer and you let it dry, and it will become super sticky once it's dry. So it's really good. So I just leave it like that. Anyway, once you're done, which I have done for the top face, you need to start making the holes using the stitching prong and the hammer. What I realized is that it takes a lot of force and it will damage your table. So I got this very thick cardboard. The best cardboard, in my opinion, is, you know, the kind of cardboard that you get at the back of your pieces of drawing paper, that grey board. That's very, very robust. So that is definitely going to hold it in place. So take your piece and you have to plan where you want your holes to be. So you see I've made some pilot holes. You want it to go all around the edges where you want your stitches to be. So use your prong. There's many types of prongs that you can use. I got the 2-fork version, which allows me to make tight curves. Because you know the straight ones are just one straight row. So put your prong where you want it to be. In my case, I put it right here on top. With your hammer, it's very important that it goes all the way through. So very, very strong. That's it. That went through, I think. Okay. Now the next one, you have to. It's a really time-consuming process. You have to really do it all the way. It's a labor of love. Just go all the way through. Oh, my neighbors are going to kill me. So you just go all the way around. And this is going to take another long time. So I will pause the video and I'll be back when I finish making all the holes, okay? Okay, so now I have finished making the holes. Punching the holes through my leather, can you see? And look, a nice little idea of putting a key ring over there. Isn't it cute? So the holes are all done. It's now time to do the stitching, the fun part. So you need your thread, you need 2 needles. I am going to thread around this nose thing to start with, and it takes a bit of planning because you have to cut the amount of thread that you need and you can't turn back. So how much you need? You need 2.5 times or 3 times the length of this. The length that you want. So let me just measure. This is 1 time. Okay. This is 2 times. And 3 times. Because I'm so unprofessional, I'll do 3 times the length, just in case. So cut, nice, clean cut, and you need to thread your needle. Threading the needle is quite a special thing in itself, so I'll show you by turning the camera around. Okay, so now I've turned my camera around. You can you see my hand and the needle? So the key is to squish the thread a little bit at the end. And then you try to thread it through your needle. Ah! See, it's in. It's in. So get a nice length. And then here's the interesting bit. You bring your needle back to the body and you try to poke through your thread. You know thread is made of many little strands. So try to poke through. It's a bit challenging because the thread is so thin. Come on. Yes! Can you see? I've gone through the thread. See? Let me do a 3D view for you. See? So I have gone through the thread. Pull this back a bit. Pull that in. Pull this back. Pull that in. And then you thread right through it. Ta-da! And now it's secure. You have to do it on the other side as well. So let me repeat for you. On the other side, here's the other side. You squish it at the end and you puncture through. Yeah, so now it's in. And then once again, find a point in the thread where you can just poke right through. Don't poke your own finger. There you go. Give more distance here and string it right through. Now it's nice and secure. So I have my 2-ended thread and I'm going to start stitching. Whew, okay, we made it. So we have the thread and the 2 needles. And now you just need to start at a point. I'm going to do a full loop. If your stitching is not going to go a full loop, you start one end and you end one end, that's easy. But for me, because I'm going a full circle, you still have to start somewhere and end somewhere. I will choose some place quite discreet where the leather changes. So the first thing you need to do is to find the place that you want to start with and pierce it right through. Okay, so I've pierced it through and find the halfway mark. So that's roughly halfway, so at the same distance, and that's when you start stitching. So how you stitch, how am I going to show you this actually? Basically, they need to swap. They need to swap positions, like swap. So you see here, you go up to the next hole. Here. Go up to the next hole. Go through. And the other needle at the back comes back the same way. And then the one that came from the back now goes up the front. Goes in. You see, that's why you need a lot of thread. And then this one from the back comes back to the front again via the same hole. Can you see? And every time you do it, you have to pull it really, really tight. Okay, so keep doing it until you have gone round the full circle. Then I'll show you how to knot it. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have finished stitching around the edges of the nose of the cow, and I have these things, dangly bits left. So now it's time to cut and tie it together and seal the knot. So I'm going to just cut the needles off, and I will tie a nice tight knot. I mean, there's other ways. Not normally you tuck it in between the two pieces, but because now I have a back side that no one's going to see, I can just tie it at the back. So I will do this, tie a knot, tie a triple knot. Then now nice and secure. I'll cut off the edges. And here's the fun fact, you're supposed to like burn it. I don't know. Lisa told me to burn it, so I'm going to burn it. Ooh. And so it doesn't fray at the edges. Perfect. So there it is. I'm going to stitch round the others, and then I will show you the finished product. Hi! Right, so now I have stitched the front. You can see, and I stitched the ears, and everything's all nice and close. I've glued them together. And we have the bottom piece. This is how we're going to turn it into a pouch, okay? So I have the bottom piece, which I put some glue around the sides. And this is the top piece, which I put glue around here as well. And I'm going to stick it down. Okay, so now I've stuck it all down. It's very, very cute. It looks like a cow already. I mean, right, it does look like a cow. Isn't that nice? See? But it's not done. It's not done. No. This is, because I want to use it as a pouch to put things, it needs to be strong and stitched, and this is when the stitching is more than just cosmetic. Like all this was just cosmetic stitching, just to make it look nice. This is where you need to really stitch it together and make it last a lifetime. So I have my cow, and I am going to stitch all around the edges. So that the plan is to stitch from here all the way around the head, through the ears, through the horns to keep those permanently in place, through the sides, and then ending here. I will not stitch the bottom because that's the mouth. That's where, I mean, like that's the pouch. That's where I'm going to put my stuff. Yeah? Ooh, so cute. Okay, so now I have poked all the holes all around the head. Can you see? And then you start doing your saddle stitching again. In and out and in and out. Okay, so now I'm down to my last two stitches, the last two holes, and I'm going to show you how to seal it shut, okay? So I'll carry on. Go in, go out, tighten, and now for the last hole, when you go in, you don't go all the way in. You come through here. Can you see? I'm not going through the black leather, I'm just going through the top cover. Yes. This one, same thing. You go through, but you don't, you puncture the hole, but you don't go through to the brown leather. You just come out from the same place. Too much glue. Okay. So you see that? So now they're both inside. They're both inside. And that's how you hide it later. So now I'm going to cut the string. And you will tie a very, very, very strong and dead knot to seal it forevermore. And again. And one last time, just for good measure. Then that's when you cut it and you burn it. So I've cut it. Then now there's the loose thread. Just take your lighter. Where's my lighter? Lighter's here. Okay. So there you go. My cow is done. Isn't it nice? Stitch all the way. It's really, really hard. That's why I think it's totally worth it, because it's going to last a lifetime. I can't imagine anything ever going to tear this apart. And see the mouth. You can put things. My nice scissors holder. You can put glue. Is that cool? Thank you, Lisa, for teaching me how to do this. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, now I hope to teach you more things in the future. Bye bye.